How does a tower crane raise itself? I've heard before that it can do this on its own, which sounds magical, but I've never seen it in action. Today, through an animated demonstration, its principle is explained. First, after selecting the location, a pit is dug. This pit serves as the foundation, with a depth of no less than 1.2 meters. The taller the tower crane, the deeper the foundation must be, following specific standards. Once the pit is dug, the steel reinforcement frame for the base plate is placed, followed by pouring concrete and leaving fixed brackets in place. The first standard segment can also be installed before the concrete is poured. After about 20 days, when the concrete has completely solidified and reached sufficient strength, installation can begin. At this point, a crane is hired to lift the first standard segment and secure it to the foundation. Next, standard segments are lifted and stacked layer by layer. After installing about 4 segments, the telescopic sleeve frame is mounted. This frame encases the outside of the standard segments, and then the operator's cabin is lifted and installed. Following this, the lifting arm, balance arm, counterweights, and other components are installed one by one. Another, more extravagant method of installation is to use a helicopter to lift and assemble each standard segment, typically used for projects in mountainous areas where transportation by vehicles is not feasible. Once everything is in place, the tower crane is ready to work. At first, it may not be very tall, but lifting and hoisting materials is no problem. As the buildings nearby grow taller, the crane must also be raised to keep up. So how does the tower crane lift itself? If you enjoy watching educational videos like this, I recommend exploring TikTok Select, where you can find many mechanical principles explained with animations and simple, easy-to-understand commentary. Pay attention to the telescopic sleeve frame around the standard segment. This is the component that allows the crane to raise itself. The top of the sleeve frame is connected to the rotating plate, and it encases the standard segments. The bottom is locked to the standard segment. When the crane needs to raise itself, a new standard segment is prepped and hung in place. Then, the bolts securing the sleeve frame to the current standard segment are removed. The hydraulic system on the sleeve frame is activated, with the hydraulic cylinder's base supports gripping the lower standard segment and slowly pushing the frame upward. When the hydraulic cylinder reaches its maximum stroke, the locking mechanism on the sleeve frame secures it to the new standard segment, and the base supports of the hydraulic cylinder move up to grip the new segment. This process repeats step by step as the sleeve frame consumes another standard segment and the height of the crane increases. This design is incredibly innovative, though it still requires coordination from workers. When the project is complete, dismantling the crane follows a similar process. Each standard segment is lowered one by one, and a mobile crane is brought in to remove the operator's cabin and remaining components. As for the crane operators, they have to climb up step by step and often stay up there for most of the day. The question is, how do they handle personal needs while up there?